Hello everyone, and if I'm looking tired, it's because I am. It's really late right now here in South Korea, and I got dark circles and I'm yawning. And why? Because I've been up all night trying to decide who to vote for. Yeah, who to vote for. Did you know that a large number of foreigners here in South Korea, including myself, can vote? Yeah, we can vote. The surefire way to know if you can vote is you get one of these things. See this? It comes in the mail, and there's no Korean on it, and it explains the process for voting. Did you get one of these? No? Maybe? Well, today I'm here to sort of explain this to you, all right, because I think that a lot of people in South Korea who can vote don't know they can vote, and a lot more maybe want to vote, but you don't really know what you need to do. So that's why I decided to make this video. I was actually, I was asking some of my students, right? So my adult students, right? Oh, what do you think? Who are you going to vote for? Or who do you think are good candidates and things like this? And I was surprised that a lot of the younger ones are not even going to vote. They're not going to vote. All right. And moreover, the ones who maybe are going to vote don't really even know the positions. They don't know the positions that they're voting for. I mean, you need to cast seven votes. Seven votes. Can you believe it? 7 votes. And a lot of the Korean citizens I talk to don't even know exactly who they're voting for. So I mean, forget the candidates, like who the candidates are, the actual people who are out there and campaigning, but they don't even know the positions, right? So my God, I mean, for me, I mean, one of the biggest differences between the North Korea and here in South Korea is democracy. So if you're not going to be voting, or if you don't know what you're doing, that's some scary stuff. Another thing though is I guess, and please, if I got any of these numbers wrong, feel free to comment, because I want to be accurate. About more than 80% of the foreigners here come from countries, right? More of 80% of the foreigners here who can vote, right, come from countries which are not democracies. So that means they probably aren't familiar with democracy or what they need to do, right? So how to choose and things like that. So that's what this is about, right? And this is very important. I don't want this video to get restricted by YouTube over some campaigning rules or something. So I'm not promoting anyone. I'm not promoting any party, any political party. I'm not promoting any person. That's got nothing to do with this. The purpose of this is to try to get as many people to vote as possible. Koreans and non-Koreans alike. Whoever, is eligible to vote, I want you to go out there and vote. Because these days, especially in the age of AI, I think there's no more excuses. Anyone can find out all the information they want in any language they want and make a good decision. So, all right, we're going to look at that letter, and we're going to go through the different positions, and we're going to talk about the steps of what to do, okay? I know I'm tired looking in that, but I want to get this done while I can, because the elections are coming soon, and I want to get the information out there as soon as possible. So hang in there with me, okay? Now, back to this letter, where we're going to talk about the individual, right, the actual positions that you're going to be voting on, right? Okay, so there's 2 rounds of voting. There's round 1 here. This talks about the round 1, and this talks about round 2. So in the first round, all right, who are we voting for? Well, we have the superintendent of education. This is the person who's in charge of the education in the area around you. All right, a famous one is from The Simpsons.
I'd like to welcome all of the principals from these.
Next, we have the provincial governor, the governor of the province you're in. Or if you're in like a mega city, like one of the big cities, then it won't be the province, but just of the area of the city, okay? So the provincial governor, a famous one would be the Terminator, right? He was of California. Arnold Schwarzenegger was like the governor of California would be similar to that. Then here we have what? We have the mayor of the city. The mayor of the city, the one that takes care of the city, or if you're in like a place like one of the mega cities, then it's going to be smaller than that, but it's very similar. Okay? And once again, a famous example is from The Simpsons. Then in round 2, we have round 2. Round 2, more voting. In round 2, who are we voting for? Well, you're going to be voting for the provincial council member. The provincial council member, right? So this person is going to go and is going to work with the governor. Remember, we talked about the governor, like the Terminator, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, governor, right? Just like the governor, they'll be working with the governor to help make decisions and that. Okay, I like to think of it like the Lord of the Rings and the Council of Elrond. All right, now we're going to have what else? We're going to have the city. This is the city council member. The city council member. They work with the mayor. All right, and this maybe is the most important for you, because this is the person from your neighborhood, from your specific, very small, like the smallest area from your neighborhood, just close to where you're living. And so this person might be able to help you out with more stuff. I don't know. They might be the most accessible to you to help you do things in that, right? So here's another famous example.
Basketball courts attract undesirables to my community.
Well, there's barely room for an actual basketball, much less a court.
Because there's a definite type of...
Okay, now, this last one, it could be very confusing because you're not voting for people, all right? The last two, you're not voting for people, you're voting for the teams, the parties. Now, there's lots of parties in South Korea, okay? Well, not that many, I guess, but there's two main ones, a red one, and a blue one. Red one and a blue one. And you need to pick the red team or the blue team, all right, for the provincial, all right, area, and then also for the city area, or if you're in a mega city, the district area. But so, I mean, these two, I'm not saying they're less important, but it's not specific people. You just got to pick whatever team you want to have more control. So if you like the red team, pick red and red, or if you like the blue team, pick blue or whatever. You need to decide which team you like and why.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up and
you're still hanging in there, right? You haven't given up yet, right? I know a lot of this is sort of boring and it might make you tired. Sorry. Might make you tired like I am. But let's go through the letters step by step just so that you know the process in that, okay? Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, it talks about when voters unable to vote on election day may cast an early vote. So you can do an early vote. So if for some reason you can't do it on June the 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, then you can do it earlier. There's earlier hours. So if you got one of these letters, check that out. Friday, May 29th to Saturday, May 30th, which is now over. Too late. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have gotten this video out earlier. All right. But let's see. This gives info. If you want to find out about early voting, forget that. This is very important. This one. You must bring ID. You must bring ID. ID. Please bring your ID. If you don't have an ID, if you don't have, just bring your residence card. If you don't have your residence card, you can't vote. Okay? It's sort of obvious, but don't forget that. Types of elections, same thing. It's just these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? See if this says anything else. Let's see. Okay, well, let's see. So first you go to the entrance. Okay, yeah, that's easy to remember. And then you show your identity, right? Identify, and I guess you do a signature, you sign something. And then the first round of voting, right? We talked about the first round of voting, right? The three people. You got 3 ballots. You get 3 ballots. You got to do those. And then what happens? You receive 4 ballots, and then you do the second one, and then you get out of there. All right, easy enough, right? Okay, so let's see what else we got to talk about. All right, I didn't tell you who can vote, right? There's 150,000 foreigners like me who can vote here in South Korea, but there are some rules, not anyone. First of all, you need to have permanent residency. You need to have an F5 visa, and you need to be 18 or older. And also, this is important, you have had to have the F5 visa for 3 years or more. All right, so if you just got your F5 visa, no, 3 years or more. Okay, this is my second. This is the second time I'm voting. It's interesting because this is only, I think, the 9th local election. So Korea hasn't been having local elections for all that long. And one thing I wanted to do is I want to talk about the power of foreign voting here. I think that we can make a difference. I asked my trusty AI to give some estimates, and right now and listen carefully, with the Korean population getting lower and lower and lower, and the fact that only I think it's 50% or so of Koreans vote. If all foreigners vote, then it will make a big difference, especially as time goes on. Because I guess the foreign population is also increasing quite a bit here in Korea. Yeah. So imagine, in our lifetime, in maybe 40 to 50 years, if all foreigners here vote and the trends continue of the Korean population going down, and the same amount of people, of Korean citizens voting, if that all remains the same, then within 40 to 50 years, that means that the foreigners here will have 10% or so of the vote in places like Seoul. So yeah, 10% of the vote, that could make a big difference, right? So, if you're living in a democracy now, and that, I think you have some responsibilities and you should vote. And so how can you vote, right? All right, yeah, sure. I explained the process, but who are you going to vote for? How can you decide? Well, let's see how I can help you out with that. But once again, this is not a promotion. I'm not campaigning. I'm not saying you should vote for anyone in particular. Please, YouTube, don't ban this because you think it's a campaign. It's not. Right now, these are the people for my local elections where I'm actually living at. Okay. Remember, I'm not endorsing anyone's. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want this to be blocked by YouTube. I want everyone to be able to get informed and pick the right people in their own place. But I just wanted to give you an idea of the different positions in that. So over here, these ones here are for the city mayor, the possible mayor. Okay, mayor, and then you see, it's like they have the red team and then the blue team, or the red party and the blue party, right? Everywhere, okay, more or less, except those guys. I'll explain those. All right, so you have your mayor, your city, right? So it's between these ones here, and then the city council people. These are the people for my area, my very very specific area, okay. Very specific area, like my neighborhood, my council person will be one of these people, and then one of those two will become the mayor, and then we go down, and then these guys, one of these guys will become the governor of the province. So we got the mayor, we've got city council member, we've got the governor. Then here, this one, okay, so these represent my city too, but they're not the mayor. They are like the provincial council members, okay? And then here, this is the superintendent of education, right? This guy's putting a shoe on, he looks kind. Oh, no, wait, that's not a promotion. This guy looks smart, okay? They both look good. All right. Guys, everyone, listen. You don't need to worry about information anymore, okay? Because of the magic of AI. With AI, you can find out all the information you need, all right? You could just ask an AI chatbot or something if you wanted to, okay? If you wanted to. Now you can see me. You could just ask an AI chatbot, like ChatGPT or something else, about information about your local candidates and that, right? But another thing you can do is you could scan the pamphlets that are there in Korean, and those pamphlets have all the information that you need. I mean, you could look up more, I guess, online if you want, but the pamphlets, all right? And I'm going to show you a nice, easy method. I'm trying not to focus in on any of these because I don't want you to think I'm promoting them. If I promote anyone, they'll restrict this YouTube video. So instead, I'm going to use this. This is one of my, I'm not promoting anyone there. Sorry, let's go over here. This is one of my books that I use with my kids, all right, to study English. So you can just go through. Imagine this is one of those pamphlets over there, and you could click, take some pictures, and then just put it into an AI, and it'll translate everything for you perfectly these days. Okay, I'm going to give you an example with a free AI, DeepSeek. It's a Chinese one, and it's very good, very good. And you know, I know some Koreans sort of worried about DeepSeek because they're worried it's going to steal information or something. You can choose any AI you want, but I like DeepSeek because it's smart and it works well and it's free. So I'll show you how to use that. Hold on there. All right, so I'm going to show you how to use the DeepSeek. Okay, the DeepSeek. So you see the DeepSeek is the whale, all right, at the bottom to the right. So here's the whale, and I'm just going to click on the pictures that I took here. See? Here are the pictures that I took here, and I'm just going to put it in here, and I'm going to say something like, let's see, what can I say? Maybe translate the following into Chinese and Vietnamese and Russian and Korean, please. Okay, there we go, nice and easy, right? And let's see what it does. And it'll just take a second. It's going to think through it and go through all of it. I asked it to do like lots of languages, Chinese and Vietnamese and Russian and Korean, so it'll probably take a bit longer. But if you're just asking one language, all right, then it will probably be a lot faster. So that's good. Now, I'm sorry, I know it's dark, but it's late because I've been thinking about this for such a long time. I haven't gotten much sleep this week, but hopefully I'll get rest after the elections next week, next Wednesday, June the 3rd, which reminds me, it's a holiday. Well, not a holiday. It's like a public, official, like a public, what do they call it? Anyways, it's a day off for you, okay? A day off. So, I mean, if you want to go vote next Wednesday and your boss ain't letting you, you have the right to do that. So if you're a foreigner here working and, you know, you want to go out and vote, you definitely can do that if you have like the right to vote. So make sure you're getting your time off, right? In case you didn't know that, I've heard of people not even knowing it was like an election day. And even though they were able to vote, they weren't allowed to go out and do anything because their bosses made them work. Maybe their boss didn't even know they could vote or anything, right? So here we go. Let's see. Here we have a bunch of. Here we go. Here, well, okay. Here's all the English in there. They've right, and then they have the Chinese. See, here's the Chinese, and then all of the other languages that you might need, Vietnamese and all that. So see, you can get all the information you need for these elections. You can do it. Don't worry about it. It's there. Okay. All right. Hopefully this helped you. Bowing and that. Number 5. Good luck to you. Oh my, we've got a bunch of them here. We've got these trucks out here. See these trucks? They play loud music and they go all over the place. These guys got a little dance going on. Let's see. Okay. Well, they're even out here at the local march. You can see them at the entrance to the march here. See? Look at that. No hi for me? 자.